Hello everyone, this is Candy, the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, May the 7th, 2023, and this is my Flosstube episode number 81. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers, or if you have just been checking out my channel, I thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come and see if I can enable you with a project or two. And to all of my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time I do upload a video. A little bit of life update. Everything is going as well as can be expected. Just working, cross-stitching, getting ready for the retreat that will be in 2 weeks. I can't believe that all of a sudden it's right here up on me. It was 2 months away 2 days ago, and now it is 2 weeks away today. So thank you all so very much for your support and just your kindness. I really appreciate it. I am feeling a little better from the allergy problem that I was having last week. Today it's actually been raining quite a bit, and it's very dark outside, so hopefully some of the pollen will be washed out of the air. I still have lots of yard work that I have yet to do yet, but you know, it'll get there. I'll get there eventually. So I just wanted to say thank you so very much for your support and kind words. I have a little bit today to share with you. I have some new starts. I have a whip. I do not have any finishes. And I have some stitchy kindness that I really, really do appreciate. So we're going to just dive right in. As you know, this is May, and I celebrate May with doing a mental health care sal, and I am so appreciative of all of you that have joined in along with me on that endeavor. I will be talking about some mental health, I don't know, today I'm talking about anxiety and a disorder that I do have. It is called social anxiety disorder. You would think I would remember that. It's actually called, the synonym for it is SAD. And so when we get to that portion, it will be at the very end. That way, if you are not interested in hearing about that, you can just sign off and check out another Flosstuber for today. I do appreciate all of you that support me in the mental health care sal. So let's jump right into it. I would like to give you a little update on the road trip. I did make it to the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium, and I have been assigned to help with security, which is kind of strange for me, but I will be working the security, and I need to stitch 400 stitches for each item that you are not allowed to bring into the stadium. And as I was looking through the list, it just, I have been to the Pittsburgh Steelers Stadium, and so I am just I was very blown away by the things you could not bring into the stadium. Like it says, women can't bring in purses, which was very surprising to me. I get it. A woman can hide a whole bunch of stuff in her purse, and so they don't want you to bring in anything that can cause harm or damage to other people in the stadium. But to not be able to bring your purse or large duffel bags, it was really surprising to me. So as I go along with stitching for the security part of the challenge, I'll let you know what I've been stitching on what item that you can bring in to the stadium. I'll let you know which item I've stitched for. So we will be probably doing that challenge for about 2 to 3 weeks. Leg number 7 isn't slated to start until sometime later on in May, so we'll see how far I get along with that. So now, new starts. Again, I am stitching from this book this month, one of the projects, and I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to show you the one that I am stitching for. I should have went to the library and made a copy of it. But I am stitching It's Okay to Not Be Okay. And that is a picture of what it will look like, the stitching. I have changed the fabric and the colors, and I will show that to you now. I have been really overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, I don't even know what word I'm trying to use right now, but how quickly this stitch is going. I am stitching my pattern on a Mystic Fibers, and the color name is Peony, just depending on what part of the world you're in. And it is a 32 count linen. And I am also using the Cottage Garden thread in Sizzler. And so here is what the threads look like. And it goes from a magenta color, and then it's darker magenta into almost a navy blue that is very dark also. And here is where I am with that now. So on the screen, it looks a little bit, the fabric looks a little bit more purple. It is actually a pink fabric. And I am loving stitching on it. It is a linen, but it is going very quickly for me. As you can see, this I started here on Monday, and I've made it a quarter of the way around. This chart could easily be broken up into 4 quarters, and it is very possible if I work on it every day, which I have been. Well, not yesterday. But if I work on it every day, I could possibly have this completed by the end of the month, because there are 4 quarters and 4 weeks, and stitching on it every day for my 25/7 really has gone a long way. There's where I am now, and each little motif really, it goes so quickly. It has gone very quickly. So far, I have put in 385 stitches on this. And I am loving it. I literally pulled 2 threads and stitched the 2 threads just as it stitches. I'm not fussy cutting any of the threads, none of that. I'm not a big fan of fussy cutting threads, especially Cottage Garden, because it literally just flows right into each other. And the magenta, like, it seems to be working out that when I am on a magenta thread, because it ends with magenta and starts with magenta, I can just keep flowing right along, and it's not like one continuous color all the way around. I love this piece. I was a little concerned because there are so many different little, like 4 stitches here, 5 stitches there. I thought that maybe it would be really fussy. I think if I had been using the called for colors, it would have been. It is called for to be used 3 DMC colors and a 16 count white or black Ada. Again, I went with a 32 count, and I am using one thread of the Cottage Garden threads, and I am loving that piece. It is, I do have to, don't get me wrong, I do have to pay attention because, you know, 5 little stitches over here, 4 little stitches over there, but it is flowing very nicely. So that is, it's okay not to be okay. And I chose that particular chart because I always say, oh yeah, I'm okay. And inside I could be dying. I think as women, we always, yes, I'm doing fine, thank you. I'm okay, thank you, thank you. But oftentimes we are really not doing okay. My next new start for this week is my penguin, and I'm going to hold it back here. So this chart is by Shannon Christine Designs. It is a freebie on her website, and I am doing it as a class piece. I will be doing 2 days of finishing classes at Silver Needles in July. And this is the first time I've ever had to do pre-stitching for a retreat. Usually the retreats are just come and bring your stitching. So I've been working on a couple of projects that I need to have finished by the time I get there. And the penguin wreath is one of them. I am stitching this on a piece of, it just says Sea Spray. I don't know who that is by. It was a scrap of fabric that was given to me. And so here is where I am with him. I have all of the penguin's body in, with the exception of his eyes. I haven't put those in yet. And now I am going around doing the wreath part, which is very 2 stitches of this color, 2 stitches of that color, 3 stitches of this color. It's very fiddly. So I have put in what are the wood looking pieces on him, and all the rest of his coloring has been put in with the exception of his eyes. This will be a very tiny piece. I was trying to remember. So each piece has its own, what it will be. And the penguin, it just says trims, trims, trims. Oh, it will be put into a tart pan. So the penguin will be a tart pan, which is why it is so, first of all, it's very tiny. And then, you know, I love Shannon Christine Designs. Her stuff is very detailed. And so that is why there is so much stitching and different colors in it. So when he is completed, when I show him in, when I come back from my trip in July, he will be in a little tart pan. And I have already decided that this will be a gift, a Christmas gift for one of my friends that loves penguins. So once I get it finished, I won't be keeping it. And I have not given this friend any of my stitching, although she admires it a whole lot. She loves penguins, and so I thought that would be a perfect gift for her. I am using, so again, it is on a 28 count Sea Spray, and I'm using the called for DMC flosses for it. That is Penguin Wreath. And my next new start, oh, and let me tell you, for my acrostic, it's okay not to be okay. The acrostic is Borealis. I am using It's Okay Not to Be Okay for the letter R. And the designer's last name is Rohr, R-O-H-R. And so that's my R. And for the penguin in Borealis, goes for the E, and it's for education. And it's because I'll be learning a new skill when I go to the retreat. The next new start I have a picture of it also. It was just given to us through, there it is. It is a stocking. I am going to be removing the penguin from this stocking. I have not 100% decided what motif I'm going to put in there. It does have to be, or at least close to the same size, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. This is a stocking that we will be putting, will be put on a box top. All of these classes are very intriguing to me, and so I'm just like, woohoo, let's try all the new things. And it says 3D stocking shape open box. So that's what this will be. I am stitching this on a 28 count. Where's my mellow? I'm stitching it on a 28 count mellow, and here is where I am now. So I put in the whole top row of the white for the stocking. This is to keep the place for the heel, and then I will also be putting in some more of that to make sure that I have the toe in the right position. For the penguin, I'm sorry, I keep jumping back and forth. So for penguin, I put in 273 stitches this week. For the stocking, I have put in 108 stitches. Have you all ever used this filament before? I got it off the freebie table. It was given to me actually off the freebie table at the Fancy Works retreat. And at this time, now that it just hit me again, I would like to send out my condolences. Miss Diana, one of the owner of Fancy Works, passed away unexpectedly. And I was just devastated. I had just been with her a few weeks ago, and it was so devastating to hear that she had passed. So to all of you that live in the Bloomington area or used Fancy Workshop, I am keeping you in my thoughts. Her family, I'm keeping them in my thoughts and prayers. I know Miss Liz, her sister-in-law, and I can't even imagine having to go through something so unexpected like that. So this is called Easy Count Guideline, and it's red, and that is what it looks like. And it's on a spool, but I was just wondering, I know several of you do gridding of your fabric, and so, you know, I know that some people use thread to do their gridding, and I decided to try this out. It is easy to use. The hardest part I had was to make sure that the knots in the back, that I didn't pull it through and mess up my fabric, but it worked out pretty well. And I just did the gridding by common sense. You know, I just went down the number of stitches and then pulled it in. So here it's like 4 threads, 10, 10, 10. And that's how I gridded it off. So I just wondered if anyone else has used this product before. So the stocking will be part of a box top, and I'll be showing that when I come back from the retreat in July. All of the pieces that we will be finishing in July, it has been requested that they be stitched on 28 count or 14 count. And so I've just been going through my stash, or Miss Susan let me have some 28 count fabric, because a lot of the things can be stitched on neutrals. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Neutrals is not one. I don't have a lot of neutral 28 count fabric. So those were my 3 new starts for this week. I'll be having quite a few more new starts this week in the coming month as I prepare for the class. Those stitches that I have put in, I am tallying them for the security detail stitching that I need to do. My next, we're going to roll right into the whips, and the stocking was used for the B in Borealis, and I used box top because that's what it's going to be used for. My next segment is my whips, and for my first whip, it is StitchCon 2022. This is also my WIPGO piece for this month, although I think I made a poor decision in making it my WIPGO piece. And that is, and I will also be using it for categories. The letter O was called, and I am making the Stitchy bus an omnibus, and so that's how I was able to use this for the O for categories. For my acrostic, it is being used as the O because the fabric is Ophelia. And my WIPGO call, this is number 23, and it is a whip with words. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where I am now. So let me catch you up, because I have put in so far, I put in 381 stitches on this piece. So I put the large needle in, which will have the thread that runs all the way through the StitchCon. I put the smaller needle in, which goes through the heart. I came down and completed, with the exception of the pins that I still need to put in. I'm going to wait and put those in at StitchCon because they're straight stitches. So I'm going to do that at StitchCon. I completed the tomato. I then completed all of the X's that go up to the sidewalk. And the last thing that I have done is I started the Stitchy bust. So I have white on the top. I pulled up a picture of the Stitchy bust and put the white in as it belonged. The design, this design is by Sue Hillis. The design has the Stitchy bust all in red. But I put this part in white, like it is called for. and then I started in the red and put another white stripe. I have a problem though with this. It seems to be that the Stitchy bust, something somewhere is off. And what I do know is, let me say it that way. What I know is that I do not believe that I will be frogging anything out. There should be 4 spaces between the Cincinnati and the top of the bust. And I have 1, 2, 3. But with that being said, it lines up with where it is supposed to line up with the thimble. So I don't know where I did get off on this. At this point, it will be what it is, because I am not about to take out all of these red stitches and have that red all over my fabric. I'm just not going to do it. I also put the back stitching in around the house. So now back to the reason why I believe that this was not a correct call for WIPGO is because I do not have, even with all the back stitching that's going to be done for that piece of thread, I will not have 700 stitches at all. So what I'm going to do is finish the bust for this month. And then when I go to StitchCon, I'll do the back stitching so that I can still ring the bell. So I am probably going to start the back stitching for the piece of thread. I have another piece of thread that comes out of here. Once I get this X's completed on the bust, that is the end of the X's. So I probably have maybe another 50 stitches to put in for that. But I'm going to pull another WIP with words on it and use that also as my number 23 for this month, because I just don't have 700 stitches in this. And unfortunately, I wasn't thinking about that when I pulled this project. So when I finish it in June, it will be my 2nd or 3rd year of WIP finish also. I am so proud of myself on this piece. I have one more question. So almost all of the motifs are back stitched. The scissors, the thimble, even the tomato. And I'm thinking that it shows up pretty well without the back stitching. So give me what your opinion might be. I'm going with not back stitching it, even though that might increase the 700. But for every one, you have to count back stitching 2 for 1, and that's a lot. Oh, and I put in the little bird too. I put a lot of work into StitchCon 2022 this week. I put in, I told you 381 stitches. And that basically worked out to me working on it I believe it was 3 to 4 times this week. So that is where I stand with that. So the next time you see this, I'll have finished the bust. I'm going to make sure that I show it and all. But I'm also going to choose another WIPGO piece because I'm just not going to get, I need another at least 400 stitches. And there's not 400 stitches, even with the back stitching, all of that back stitching. There's not 400 stitches in there, so. So that was StitchCon 2022. And again, I'm using that as the O in Borealis because the fabric is on a 28 count Ophelia, and I am using the called for DMCs with a few overdyes of my choosing. I just got so carried away with that. My next WIP that I'm going to show you is my Sunday seasonal stitch piece, and it is Spring Quakers. And I am in this area here. I have all of these 3 motifs completed. So let me tell you, last Sunday I did a lot because Monday was the 1st. I did a lot of kitting up, pulling fabric and all of that. So by the time I started to stitch on Sunday, it was very late in the evening. So I put in a total of 26 stitches. And it is this backstitched word that I put in. And it is celiac. Yeah. That is what I put in last Sunday. So now I will be, today when I start stitching, which will be around 1 o'clock, I will be working on this huge motif right here. And I'll be starting right there. That's why I had to get that word in so that I would have my spacing correct for this next motif that is humongous. It is humongous. So it's going to take me some time to get that all in, but that's where I'll be starting at today, is right there. I am still loving this piece. It is being stitched on a 28 count Garden Party by Bestitch Me. And I am using the called for Valdani threads with it. I absolutely am still loving working on this. And that is where I am on that. You know, I was talking to EJ and she was like, 26 stitches is great, because my brain is not, it does not like back stitching for some reason. Every time that I have to do back stitching where there's a word, my brain like freezes or something. I don't know. And then I have to like really work through. So she, you know, helps me work through the whole back stitching process, bless her heart, because I just be like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Although I'm, you know, I am getting better. I need to practice back stitching more. So one of my projects that I abandoned, I'm going to have to pull it out probably in July and start all over again with it so that I can get it in my brain. I'm going to have to use a doodle cloth so that I can get my motion started on it, because I think that's what it is. You know, you come up and then you go down and then you come back up. It just blows my mind. But so that was where that is what I worked on last Sunday and put in 26 stitches. But you know what? I'm very proud of the fact that I did not let myself defeat me. Because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these backstitch words. I'm just going, I don't know. I'm going to have to figure out how to count so I don't have to worry about them. But it was very good for me to go ahead on and force myself, and EJ forced me. She was like, just do it now. And I've forced myself to just go ahead on and not just do one letter, but I completed the whole word, which was really something for me. So, okay, so that is where we are with all of my progress for this week. I have some very great friends that I have never met. I hope to someday meet all of you. Our paths will cross someday. I really hope they do. I received in the mail a gift for my friend Debbie. And she wrote me a really sweet note on this card. And Debbie, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say that you are selling these because you have a Facebook group and it's called Classy Koalaby by KY. I don't know. I'm going to show you in a minute, by Debbie. And so here is her card. And she is on Facebook. And she sent me, for Mental Health May, a needle minder that says Mental Health Matters. And there is her card. I am going to assume, which you know what you do when you assume, but I'm going to assume that she is now a seller. If that's not correct, Debbie, just let me know in the comments, and then other people will know also. But she has a Facebook group, and her Instagram is also on that card. But isn't that the cutest? The brain and the flowers, and it all does matter. And mental health matters so much to me. Yesterday, I managed to get out of the house, and they were, I went to Joann's because I needed a floss. I needed a floss and a few other things. And they were doing, you could round your total purchase up, and the money would be donated to children with mental health issues. And I was like, yes, but of course. I think if we would start dealing with children at a young age with mental health issues, it would solve a lot of their problems when going through adolescence, early adulthood, even into adulthood. You know, I was said to be a very shy, quiet child, and I think I was actually a depressed child. But, you know, in the 70s, 80s, they didn't know about children and mental health. So, but that was my beautiful Stitchy kindness for my friend Debbie, and I appreciate it so much. You have always been a champion of this endeavor, and I appreciate you so very much. So, here's to Debbie. And that was all I had. You know, the flosses that I bought at Joann's was just regular DMC. I bought some fabric for the frog, but I am not going to show the frog. What I will make sure and do is take pictures of the frog before or maybe I'll show it right before I go to the retreat, which is Stitching in the Wilds, hosted by Garon Stitchery. And I'll be flying out for that on the 17th. So I'm looking forward to going. I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Please do not hesitate to grab me and say hello. You know, I'm a hugger, so if you want to hug, all of that, I am so looking forward to it. So let us get to the plans now. I have just a few plans that I'm going to be doing this week. I have a project that I am working on, which is going to probably take some time away from my stitching this week, but I do have some stitching plans. So I will be working on It's Okay Not to Be Okay as my 25/7 for this week. That way I know I'll get it in, because I always do my 25/7 in the morning before I start work. My next plan is to have another new start And it is Adonis Blue by Talon Emblem. And I need to, okay, there we go. By Talon Emblem. And this is the A in Borealis. So I'll be starting on that. I will also start, since I'm putting my StitchCon 2022 to rest for a little while, I will be bringing out my seasonal WIP, which for me, number 25 is Seasonal Sun Sign, because I am actually working in the area of spring. So I'll be putting some stitches into that. And if you recall, my WIPGO goals are 700 stitches when the number is called, but I have all year long to get those 700 stitches in. And today, I'll be stitching with some friends via Zoom, and I'll be working on my Sunday seasonal stitch, which is Spring Quakers. So as of right now, those are the plans that I have. I'll be working on, I'll be doing a lot of sewing this week. I have, like I said, I have a project that I want to get finished. And so I'll be working on that a lot. Okay, so now for the mental health portion of the Flosstube. Sorry, my back all of a sudden itches. It's probably anxiety. I am, okay. We're going to get through this, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Today I'll be talking about anxiety and stress. And this comes at a very important time for me. In doing my research on anxiety, I found out that anxiety is the mind and body's reaction to stressful, dangerous, or even unfamiliar situations. A sense of uneasiness or dread before a significant event. Some levels of, and I'm just reading this off a card where I wrote it all down. Some levels of anxiety help keep us, we all have anxiety. Some anxiety helps keep us alert and aware. But if you suffer from an anxiety disorder, it feels far from normal and can be debilitating. I have been dealing with anxiety unbeknownst to me at first for probably 6 months to a year. I am on anxiety medication, and now that I have done some more research, I'm going to be contacting my physician because the medication is not helping me. I have been self-isolating myself for at least a year. When we first went into lockdown, we were all to be in isolation, and I did what I was supposed to do. However, now I find it almost like I don't leave the house unless I need food. I have blocked myself off socially from the world almost. That's why coming up on this retreat, it's like I've already been in panic mode about it. Anxiety disorders are characterized by general it's general featuredly by excessive fear. And there is nothing for me to be afraid of. It's not like I do things that would be fearful. You know, let me say it this way. I have to pump myself up to even go to Keepsakes. I have to pump myself up to go to the grocery store. I had to pump myself up yesterday to run errands, to go to Joann. I needed stuff from Joann's, and I've needed stuff from Joann's for a month now, but I literally am down to the wire with the project, and I had to pump myself up to go to a place that I have been 100 times, all because of this. It's called social anxiety disorder, which I didn't realize that I really had. And for those of you that know me and have met me, you are probably just as surprised as anyone. I have to really pump myself up, talk myself into it. You wouldn't believe how many events I'll be like, yes, I'm coming. And then 2 days before the event or the day of the event, I'm sorry, I can't come. Let me get back to some of the research that I found. Emotional response to perceived, so it's a real fear. You have a real fear, or it's a real threat that you think. One of the other disorders that I find very interesting is obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, I do not have that. I know I don't, because my house is too messy. Oh, my house is too messy. But there are different phases of it. So I could ask for help for people to come and help me. But then when people come to help me, I'm like, don't touch my stuff. Don't do that. No, don't put it there. Don't do that. So that is also obsessive compulsive, because even though I know I need help, I don't receive it very well. So it can also be caused by trauma or stress disorder. So what I have is social anxiety disorder, and it's called SAD, which is very sad. Some signs of anxiety: you feel very anxious, or you worry a lot. And you worry a lot about a lot of different things, not just one little thing. Do you think or worry excessively over a lot of different things? Do you have physical symptoms like restlessness, a feeling of tiredness, easy when you know you have to go somewhere? Are you irritable? Do you have irritability? Muscle tension? One of my body's defense mechanisms is I get tired and I go to sleep. There have been times where I literally could sleep the day away because my brain is just going through so much that my body is just like, I can't take this anymore, and I can fall asleep and sleep for hours. But there's also another side of that where you can't sleep at all. Another sign or question, these are questions that were asked in a survey about anxiety, and it says, does your worrying impact your ability to function at school, at work, with friends, other areas of importance to you? Do you worry more days than not? So I worry about a lot of different things. One of the reasonings behind social anxiety disorder is that you're afraid that you're going to be embarrassed, or that people are going to make fun of you, or that secretly people are talking about you. I have had this actually happen to me, where I have maybe done something embarrassing. I get embarrassed for other people. So, people watch these shows where they're doing crazy things like skateboarding down the stairs or whatever. Well, when people, like when they wipe out or fall or something happens, I get embarrassed for other people. Like I would never, it is traumatizing to me to watch those videos. And my ex used to watch that stuff all the time and just laugh, and I laugh too, but I also get very embarrassed for the person. I actually can't watch them because it's so embarrassing for me to watch them being embarrassed or making a fool out of themselves. And they do it all in fun. And to me, it's not funny at all. I am always afraid that I'm going to say the wrong thing. You wouldn't believe this. You probably won't believe this, but I literally have to talk myself into doing videos every week, because I'm always so afraid that I'm going to say the wrong thing and that like I'll upset you all and you'll all just walk away, or not be my friend anymore. So I know that social anxiety disorder is very real. I did not know to what capacity I suffer from this this mental health issue. But now that I know, knowing is half the battle. Now that I know what I need to do in order to keep myself from missing out on things. There was a lady that called for a meeting of stitchers, and I really thought that I was going to go, but at the last minute, I was just like, I can't. I'm too tired. I can't do that. And I think my fear is mostly of meeting people that I don't know, being around people that I don't know, and then doing something embarrassing, saying something. Now, with that being said, I know I'm going to Stitching in the Wilds, and I know plenty of people there. Has it changed my anxiety level? Not one bit. Because I'm always afraid, and I think this is because it's happened to me before. I'm always afraid that somebody's just going to walk away and not want to be a part of my life. So I also hold people at a certain level so that I don't have to go through that kind of hurt ever again. So if you are suffering from social anxiety disorder, I would ask you to please contact your physician. There are all different, there are all different kinds of ways to deal with anxiety issues. A lot of people are, they don't want to be just given a pill. I am going to be reaching out and finding another therapist. My therapist walked away, and I have not seen or talked to her in 6 months. And I don't know why. Did I say something to offend her? Did something happen to her? It's not always on me, but to just have people one day disappear out of your life is very traumatic within itself. And I have had it happen to me quite a bit. which also lends itself to not letting people get too close to you because you don't want to continue to go through that hurt and devastation all over again. So please, 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 if you are suffering with any kind of social anxiety issue, contact your physician, get some help. There is help out there for that. And I am going to do the same. I'm at a little bit of a, seeing that I'll be leaving in a little over a week. I'm a little bit at a disadvantage, but I know what my triggers are, and as long as I know, then I can talk myself through a situation. You know, I thought it was good that I was okay with being by myself, and now I see the error of my ways. Like, I was like, I don't need anything. I'm good. I can be in this house by myself. I don't need, you know, outside things. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I now know that as a human being, I do need social interaction. And so, you know, now I have to work on getting myself to the point where I can have social interaction and not be super afraid. There is a thing coming up at my job, and I literally live 7 minutes from my job. And I was so thankful that I would be in Florida when this event comes up, just so that I wouldn't have to see the people that I work with, because I feel some type of embarrassment over the fact that I had to leave my promotion and go back to my other job, to my former job. That was an embarrassment to me. And so I don't want to answer questions about it. I don't want people asking me questions about it. I don't want people whispering about the fact that, you know, that had to happen. I don't want to see the people that I used to work with in that department, because it is very much an embarrassment that I had to go through that whole thing. So it is a very real disorder. I didn't really think too much about it. But as I was going through the research for this yesterday, I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to get some more help about this. So if you are having any kind of mental health issue, please, please, please contact your physician. There are all kinds of free programs and counseling that you can be involved in to help you. There is no reason for us to suffer in silence. Part of breaking the stigma of mental health issues is seeking help and being your own advocate. And if you can't be your own advocate, find a friend that will be an advocate for you. It could literally be a matter of life and death. And suicide, drugs, alcohol are not the way to get through a mental health issue. So that's my PSA for today. And now I'm going to end on something happy. I will be the proud mother of a college graduate come Friday, May the 12th. My youngest daughter will be graduating from college. And I am super, super excited for her. She has worked really hard and has gone through a whole lot to get through her college experience. So I thank you all for tuning in today. I will be back on either Saturday or Sunday of next week. I do want to do a video before I go to Stitching in the Wilds. And hopefully I will have my smalls completely finished. I gotta have it completely finished. I'll be working on that during this week also. That's part of my plan. So I want you all to have a very good rest of your week. Get those stitches in, and I will see you next week. Bye.